Hi and welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk about one, maybe two investment opportunities with high potential return and high social impact. If you know about poultry farming, then you know that the feed cost can make up to 70% of the total cost of production. In our first production of the local breed of chicken, feed cost was 50% of our total cost of production. And in our broiler production, feed cost was more than 50% of the cost of production. This is in large part due to the cost of protein, which is usually derived from soya or fish. So, a growing number of farmers and researchers have been looking for cost-effective alternative sources of protein. Two candidates have emerged as excellent viable solutions. When we started our farm, we invested in the production of these two alternative sources of protein, but we quickly realized that it is very difficult to rear poultry and pursue other activities at the same time. So, what we need are people to invest and specialize in the production of these alternative sources of protein and sell to farmers. In this video, I want to tell you about these two alternative sources of protein that you should consider investing in if you are looking for investment opportunities in agriculture. So watch on. Welcome to my channel. I am grateful you are here. If you are new to this channel, this is a place where I share my experience of investing in my home country of Burkina Faso while I live and work abroad. I do it to get a higher return on my savings, and I do it to create jobs for the youth in my country. Despite the difficulties and the rest, I strongly believe that us in the diaspora have an important role to play in the economic development of our country. So I hope you find my experience useful and that it inspires you to do the same. If you are looking to get a higher return on your savings and make a difference in Africa, then I want you to consider investing in the production of black soldier fly larvae or azolla or both.
Black soldier flies, or BSF, are harmless wild flies that can be raised in a controlled environment to produce protein-rich larvae for animal consumption. Azolla, or mosquito fern, is a fast-growing aquatic plant rich in protein and vitamin. BSF larvae and azolla are both excellent sources of protein for poultry and other animals such as fish and pig. There are also excellent sources of fertilizer as well. The excrements of the BSF larvae, called frass, is an excellent organic fertilizer. Azolla itself is used as a fertilizer. In fact, it was first used as a fertilizer, and it was only later that people realized it can also be used as animal feed. So if you invest in BSF farming, you will have two products to sell, the larvae and the frass. And if you cultivate azolla, you can sell it as feed or as fertilizer.
There is overwhelming evidence that BSF larvae and azolla are excellent sources of protein for poultry and other farm animals.
With many peer-reviewed scientific publications from various countries around the world, but more importantly, with concrete evidence from farmers around the world. So when I decided to invest in poultry farming in my home country of Burkina Faso, I also decided to rear a colony of black soldier flies to produce protein-rich larvae to cut costs on feed and to cultivate azolla.
But I quickly realized that it is very difficult to raise poultry and produce BSF larvae at the same time because both activities require a significant amount of time. Although raising poultry and rearing BSF flies are both simple, they are delicate and involve many steps, especially BSF farming. So what we need are people to invest and specialize in the production of BSF larvae and or azolla and sell to farmers.
There are many large BSF farmers in other parts of the world such as Indonesia, China, and Malaysia. And large producers have popped up in several countries in Africa. For example, these two Kenyan companies, Insectipro and Ekodudu, secured close to $1 million funding to set up large commercial BSF farming. And they are not alone. There are many small producers as well, but it is not enough. And in some countries, there aren't any. I know we were the first to start BSF production in Burkina Faso, and we started in 2022. Now, what does BSF production entail, and what do you need to start BSF farming? The process is actually very simple. So simple, in fact, that I was able to start my BSF farm by watching YouTube videos and then implementing what I learned. But if you can, you must get practical training. In a nutshell, the flies are kept in a cage called the love cage, in which we place an attractant made of a mixture of rotten fruits, fermented rice bran, and cow dung. The attractant attracts the female flies to lay eggs on these things called eggies. We collect the eggies and place them on corn or rice bran to hatch the eggs. After hatching, the baby larvae are fed organic waste and raised for about 2 weeks. At 2 weeks, the larva is at its peak protein content and can be harvested to give directly to the chicken or dried and mixed with the feed. A portion is kept to perpetuate the colony. These larvae would pupate and emerge as flies after a few days, then will lay eggs and the process starts over. The entire cycle from eggs to flies take about 30 to 35 days. So to get started, you need larva cages, and these can be made cheaply by local welders or carpenters. We first made our larva cage in metal, but recently we have constructed larger larva cages in wood to increase our daily egg production. You will then need a rearing bucket to hatch the eggs and to keep the larvae in. We opted to make shelves on which we placed 20-liter water bottles cut in half and plastic containers to use as rearing buckets for the larvae. But you can construct shallow ponds in cement directly on the ground. You can also just use plastic buckets and place them directly on the floor and stock them on each other. You will also need access to abundant organic waste. We collect organic waste from a local market that is situated at about 5 kilometers from the farm. We also collect cow manure from a neighboring farm. You will also need extra buckets and sievers to separate the larvae from the frass. After you harvest your larvae, you can use an oven to dry them, or you can dry them in the sun. There are many videos on YouTube you can refer to for more details. But to start your colony, you can attract the flies from the wild, or you can buy eggs or pupae from another farmer. I will leave useful links in the description. For Azolla, the process is even simpler. You need shallow ponds which you can construct with tarp to begin with. Depending on where your country is located, you might also need some type of hanger to create some shade for the Azolla to grow optimally. Once the ponds are ready, you add water and cow dung and other fertilizing matter and spread the Azolla on top. It will multiply and fill up the surface of the water in 7 to 10 days. Then you can harvest half and let it multiply again. So with multiple ponds, you can harvest daily to sell to farmers. We first built the ponds with cement and quickly realized it was too expensive, so we ordered heavy tarps from Alibaba and used them to make large ponds.
So if you have the space and financing, you can produce the BSF larvae and Azolla, dry them and mix them and sell to farmers. I personally think that BSF and Azolla farming are revolutionary. So we need more people to invest and specialize in their production to help bring down the cost of animal feed. This is it for today's video, and I hope you found it informative. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss any new videos from me. So long, and see you in the next video.